Thousands gathered in London as Britain and Queen Elizabeth to rest. Her coffin was escorted by her family to Westminster Abbey for the funeral. Expats at a local British pub also paid their respects to the Queen, toasting her with tea and sharing memories.
Hurricane Fiona blew through Puerto Rico with dangerous winds and downpours. Most of the island now has no power.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Millions around the world say goodbye to Queen Elizabeth, a celebration of Britain's longest reigning monarch. The Queen's funeral was the first state funeral since the end of Winston Churchill's reign. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Lee.
And I'm Bailey Harrison. Just prior to the Queen's funeral, a bell rang 96 times to honor each year of the Queen's life. Queen Elizabeth II was buried today in the King George Memorial Chapel on the grounds of Windsor Castle. Tens of thousands of mourners packed the streets to pay their respects as the coffin traveled from Westminster Abbey.
Let us commend to the mercy of God, our Maker and Redeemer, the soul of Elizabeth, our late Queen.
The crown jeweler removed the crown, orb, and scepter from the top of the Queen's coffin and then placed them on the altar. These items symbolize the Queen's power, and the removal marks the end of her reign. Several USC students have connections to the UK and shared their thoughts about this historic event. Dawson Michael, a USC student studying abroad in London, took this video of people near Buckingham Palace. Many had come from far away to pay their respects to the Queen. A USC student from the UK talked with Annenberg Media about the funeral.
Myself and my family kind of thought it was very emotional, it was very dignified and majestic. It was a very fitting ceremony for a woman who had been the longest reigning monarch in British history.
After 11 days in the public eye, the royal family held a private burial in the chapel at Windsor just 6 hours ago. The Queen is now resting in peace with her parents, her sister, and her beloved husband of 73 years. A British pub in Santa Monica hosted a special afternoon tea in honor of the Queen. Ye Old King's Head also showed TV coverage of the funeral while customers enjoyed some of the Queen's favorite dishes. The pub is located in the heart of Santa Monica, just steps from the 3rd Street Promenade. Its doors first opened in 1974 and has brought a sense of community to Brits living in Los Angeles. Ye Old King's Head attracts anyone looking for a taste of British food and culture. The pub was decorated with British flags and photos of Her Majesty, the longest reigning monarch in history. Everyone we spoke to was born in England and expressed a deep connection to the Queen.
So the King's Head next door, I've been in LA for 20 years now, and it's a local of mine. I've been coming here for many years. It's nice to rub shoulders with fellow English people and fellow Brits, so the next thing is to do it in an establishment like this.
I just think this is just such a historic moment that we're witnessing right now with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. I feel humbled actually that the King's Head, you know, we've been here since 1974 and it is a place to bring people together.
They've got the home-cooked food.
Ye Old King's Head has given Brits a place to mourn and honor the Queen. Many are hopeful that King Charles will continue in the tradition of his mother.
Former School of Social Work Dean Marilyn Louise Flynn just pled guilty to a federal bribery charge. This comes after taking part in a bribery and fraud scheme allegedly involving an LA City Councilman, Mark Ridley Thomas. Flynn admitted to funneling a $100,000 donation from Ridley Thomas's campaign funds in order to grant his son a paid professorship at USC. Flynn's attorneys released this statement, quote, "The USC telehealth program Dr. Flynn worked to expand was an innovative initiative designed to provide counseling for large groups of citizens who were otherwise unable to obtain that care. She had no intent or plan to personally benefit from the proposed amendment to the program, and deeply regrets the unintended outcome of her actions." As part of her proposed deal, Flynn must plead guilty to 1 count of bribery, pay a $100,000 fine, and serve a 10-year home confinement sentence. Conditions monitored by a probation officer will limit the ability to freely enter and exit the house for activities other than work, community service, and other necessities.
In an interview with 60 Minutes, President Biden said the COVID-19 pandemic is over. That prompted mixed reactions from many Americans. Today, the White House has responded saying its COVID policy has not changed. The president said, quote, "The pandemic is over. We still have problems with COVID. If you've noticed, no one is wearing a mask and we seem to be in good shape," end quote. We talked to a doctor at USC Keck who says it's too soon to declare the end of the pandemic.
The fact that it's becoming more endemic doesn't necessarily mean that the pandemic is over. We haven't had a long enough period of time to see if, in fact, we will get another wave during the winter time or subsequent to that. So I'd be waiting at least 6 months to see if, in fact, the pandemic were over.
Political expert Cami Akuvon says Biden's comment about the pandemic has a deeper meaning.
I think Biden saying that the pandemic is over has a different purpose. Americans generally approve of Biden's handling of coronavirus. For most people, it is psychologically over. So they like the assurance of the president saying it's over.
The LA County Public Health Department says getting the new fall COVID-19 booster protects against recent strains of COVID. It recommends those who are eligible get vaccinated if it has been at least 2 months since their last COVID vaccine. The LA County Department of Public Health has issued a health alert following the recent fentanyl-related overdoses of 4 teenagers. One of those students died at Bernstein High School in Hollywood last Tuesday. We spoke to the founder of Team Awareness Combating Overdose, an LA-based drug overdose prevention organization, and a professor and clinical pharmacist in the USC School of Pharmacy.
We have reached out to Bernstein High School with the goal of providing overdose prevention education. We're certainly looking forward to hopefully being able to train the Bernstein High School community in overdose response. We're not here to enable drug use or discourage drug use. Our goal is that everybody wakes up in the morning.
2 milligrams of fentanyl. That's the same as about 2 grains of table salt. 2 milligrams is enough to be lethal to kill the user. Now, naloxone or Narcan, as commonly known, is an antagonist. It's a chemical or molecule that binds at the same site, the opiate receptor, as fentanyl, but it binds at a higher affinity, which means it can outcompete and race fentanyl or beat fentanyl to the binding site. As long as now Narcan is given and naltrexone is given and it's binding to that site, the fentanyl is no longer able to bind to the opiate site, so it's just circulating in the plasma of the bloodstream, but having no effect on its own. In California, any individual can go to any pharmacy and get a prescription of Narcan, normally as a nasal spray, for free without a prescription.
Narcan is available at all USC pharmacies. Naloxone SC provides free training to administer the drug. DPS officers are also trained and carry it with them at all times. Hilliard offers 3 main recommendations for overdose prevention. Test any drugs that did not come from your pharmacy, never use drugs alone, and carry Narcan.
Tomorrow is National Voter Registration Day. We spoke to students about why they feel it's important to hit the polls.
Floods attacked Puerto Rico, causing catastrophic floods. The heavy rains created massive mudslides throughout the island.
Original American Idol winner Kelly Clarkson received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The ceremony came 2 decades after her Idol victory.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, "How are you?" or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. is he talking?
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Nearly 1.5 million residents in Puerto Rico remain without power after Fiona caused catastrophic flooding. Winds reached 85-mile-per-hour winds, and the hurricane dropped more than 20 inches of rain before heading to the Dominican Republic. More than 1,200 people spent the night in shelters. The National Guard has rescued more than 900 residents.
From the standpoint of just the sheer amount of volume of water is very significant, and then all sorts of things happen. When there's
Hurricane Fiona could drop as much as 20 inches of rain on the Dominican Republic and is expected to reach the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos by tomorrow.
Tomorrow is National Voter Registration Day. Our politics anchor, Christina Liu, has more on how you can register to vote.
2 months away, and registering to vote is the first step to making your voice heard. We spoke to students about how they're getting involved.
I think it's amazing that we have the power to vote, and I definitely think it's important to do so because, you know, not everybody has the chance to be like an active member of society.
I mean, I'm registered to vote. I think it's really important to be involved in the democratic process. I'm not super political, but I think it's fun and a cool thing to be a part of to show that you're an active citizen.
I think for me the big thing is just having better representation, so like seeing people like me in Congress rather than kind of the demographic that's going on right now, and also just pushing like equal rights in all different spaces.
To register to vote, head to Tommy Trojan or the USC Village tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Vote SC will be helping students register, update their registration, and request absentee ballots. You can also visit votesc.turbovote.org for more information. Election Day is November 8th. All 435 House seats and 34 of the 100 Senate seats will be on the ballot. Voters in the city of Los Angeles will also decide who will become the next mayor.
And we have Eric taking over our weather.
Thanks, Bailey. Good evening, people. Welcome back to ATVN. First show of the day. Wow, what? Sure has been quite a while. We missed you all. We hope you missed us too. I'm Eric Humanchoy. I'm filling in for Michaela today since she's feeling a little under the weather. It was a little breezy and partly cloudy today. There's still some lingering winds at around 15 miles per hour. So if you plan on heading to the Dodgers game, maybe grab your Dodger hoodie or your jacket. Current conditions are 75 degrees, 57% humidity. Let's go to our regional map. So we're tracking the low pressure system that will actually won't bring us any rain. So if it does bring any moisture or light precipitation, it'll mainly just be around the western fringe of Ventura County. But everywhere else, we're staying dry, we're staying cool. 79 in Long Beach and 83 in Anaheim. So temperatures are staying pretty below average. And for the first few days of the week, things are going to start to take a turn. So 5-day forecast, so we take a look. We're up in the upper 70s until Wednesday for LA and Orange County. And a warming trend is going to begin as the high pressure system from the east starts to expand back into our area as we look towards the weekend. It's going to be a lot hotter. It's 87 degrees on Saturday. So it'll be nice and toasty, sunny, mostly clear for the weekend. A little warmer on Thursday, which is actually 82 and 62, to a low of 62. And it's actually going to be the first day of fall. The autumnal equinox, first day of autumn on Thursday. So we're counting 42 days until Halloween, 48 days until daylight saving time ends. So autumn is coming. A few words that I have to add on to the news on the Queen. London Bridge is indeed down. It's a solemn day in the UK with the Queen now buried in St George's Chapel. Of course, there have been mixed reactions from former colonies, but an outpouring of grief and well wishes from around the world has been going to the UK. So we offer Our condolences and our thoughts and prayers are with the royal family and the people of the United Kingdom. For Annenberg Media, I'm Eric Joy. I'll toss it over to Michael and Dylan for the news on sports.
Thank you, Eric. Coming up on ATVN Sports, women's soccer started off red hot against UC Irvine, but were they able to come out on top? Women's volleyball hosted the Trojan Classic over the weekend. We'll tell you how they fared and which players earned honors in the home tournament. And the Lincoln Riley dominance continues for USC football, but what needs to get fixed to make the Trojans a championship contender? All of this and more next.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Michael Fumafredo.
And I'm Dylan Brazier. The Trojan football team continues to roll after a statement win, 45-17 against Fresno State. Another dominant offensive showing sets up their third straight 40-plus point game. Caleb Williams had quite a nice evening, pairing up with Mario Williams and Jordan Addison. The receivers combined for 12 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. But the performance of the game has got to go to the rushing attack. Running back Travis Dye and Austin Jones put up 100 yards on the ground as well as one touchdown each. Dye had arguably the run of the year, breaking 4 tackles for a 25-yard score. Here's what head coach Lincoln Riley had to say about the success in the run game.
Run game was really pretty good most of the night. We were steady. Thought the line was really good in the run game. Yeah, it's important. You got to run the ball to win and win consistently and win different ways. And so I'm proud of the way we run it.
Caleb, you ran it. Michael, obviously the offense is the star of the show, but talk to me about this defense. 420 yards allowed, 6.8 yards per play allowed. Is this a concern?
Not at all. I mean, when your offense is putting up 40 points a game, you could put me and you on defense, and I think they'd be fine winning a game. But to answer your question, USC's defense is not as bad as you're making them out to be. The pass rush has played phenomenal, 5 sacks in the game against Fresno State, and the secondary has proven that they can turn the ball over. So those guys have shown flashes of excellence, and then you have a defense that's getting the job done, getting Caleb Williams and that offense back on the field and have them win the game. That's all you really need.
But more about those turnovers. We see it is week 3. Teams are making more mistakes, but they're going to tighten that up around later in the season. So the defense, can we rely on those turnovers while we're going to play better offenses down the stretch?
Oregon State's going to be a great test of that. They're also 3-0. It's very tough to play in Corvallis. This is going to be a fun game to watch on Saturday. I'm excited for it.
It is indeed. This is the Beavers' first conference game of the season, and the Trojans are projected to win by 6.5. Stay tuned for that game Saturday at 6:30 p.m.
Women's soccer won their lone match last week. A 3-2 victory over UC Irvine on Thursday. It's USC's 4th win in 6 contests before starting Pac-12 play this week. Both Zoe Burns and Simi Awujo scored their first goals of the season in the 3rd and 9th minutes respectively. Aaliyah Farmer scored to make it 3-0 by the end of the first half. UC Irvine's 2 second-half goals weren't enough to mount a comeback. Moving on to women's volleyball, USC dominated the Trojan Challenge this weekend, going undefeated in their home showcase. The women of Troy swept all 3 visiting opponents, defeating each team by a score of 3-0. Their win against New Mexico State on Thursday was number 1,100 in the program's history. They went on to defeat Milwaukee on Friday and won the tournament Sunday night against San Jose State. Skylar Fields stood out for USC once again, collecting 42 kills over the 3 games and was named the tournament's most outstanding player. Fields was also named to the all-tournament team, along with teammates Amelia Vesca and Gala Trubin.
Men's water polo dominated the Aggie Roundup last Saturday in Davis, winning both matches with ease, outscoring their opponents 26-9. After a loss to the University of Pacific, the men of Troy responded well, tearing up the Aggies in a 12-4 Trojan victory. They carried that momentum to their next game against Navy, dominating them 14-5. Trojans goalie Eric Hubner had a stellar performance with 2 penalty blocks, a career high of 14 saves, and the first goal ever scored by a USC goalie. Wow. USC advances to 8-2 while heading to Stanford this weekend to take on Fordham University and others for the Mountain Pacific Invitational.
Wrapping up today's show, Week 2 of the NFL is finishing up as we speak, but former Trojans put on a show yesterday, proving that USC is in fact wide receiver U. Amon-Ra St. Brown led the Lions in both receiving and rushing yards, scoring twice as the Lions picked up their first win of 2022. Welcome to the league, Mr. Drake London. The Falcons rookie got his first career score yesterday as well. And don't forget about Nelson Aguilar. What a catch by the veteran there. And Dylan, the show's not over yet because Robert Woods is still on the field as we speak. Is he potentially going to join in on this party?
Well, as the most experienced receiver in that room, he definitely has his work cut out for him, and I think he can get a few targets. And I started in my fantasy football lineup, so I hope he does really well.
I mean, good luck to your team there, but we're going to have to see how he does. That's going to conclude the Trojan Sports Update. Dylan and I are going to go head off and watch that game. Bailey, over to you.
The Hollywood sign is celebrating its 100th anniversary. We'll show you how it's getting a facelift.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
The Hollywood sign is getting a makeover just in time for its 100th anniversary. Painters will need 400 gallons and it will take them 8 weeks to finish. Painters started today and you can watch them at work on the hollywoodsign.org webcam. For nearly 30 years, the sign read Hollywoodland, before dropping the land in 1949. The 45-foot-high sign has been repaired several times and was last renovated in 2012. The project is expected to finish by early November, in time for the holidays and celebrations next year.
Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. American singer Kelly Clarkson has finally made her iconic mark on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. American Idol's first winner has soared to the tops of the music charts, achieving worldwide multi-platinum, platinum, and gold certifications for her songs. Alongside 17 Grammy nominations, a successful daytime TV show, and other accolades, Clarkson will join almost 3,000 other stars with a spot in pop culture history. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Bailey Harrison.
And I'm Jeffrey Lee. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.